What's up, Emo Geeks? Welcome back to another Feedback Friday episode with Mike. Again, Mike, how's it going?
Hey, welcome. I'm happy to be here again. I can't believe you got me 2 times in a row.
I know we pulled it off somehow, but this week we got some really interesting emails from Venmo that I'm excited to look at.
This episode is sponsored by Netcore, not your old school transactional email platform. This is email reimagined. Welcome to Email Reinvented, with the only email delivery platform that leverages AI to power deliverability and increased customer engagement. Schedule a demo with the link below.
Venmo's killing it right now. I haven't used the app for a while, mostly because I never get out of the house, which means I don't need to pay anyone on Venmo. But recently, it's a bill with Venmo because a friend did something for me, some freelance stuff. And I was like, shoot, I've got to re-download Venmo because I haven't had it on my phone for a while. And so I went back and started looking at the Venmo emails and really was impressed by the retention. The second I started engaging with Venmo again, they just started sending me some really good content, either to update me. So we'll go through those today and some incentives and some other things here. What kind of stuck out to you first when you were going through some of these emails?
So for this first one, I know this is sort of a marketing email to get you to create a business profile. I think this little touch is cool to see, and then like some of the shadow around the CTA buttons are something we don't usually see. They're just bringing a fun amount of color into this email, using live text to show the benefits of creating a business profile, a really descriptive CTA here. I think this one is kind of a good example of more like a onboarding sort of retention email to really describe and show with a lot of space here the benefits of why you should create a business profile, and really keeping it simple with a light amount of text, images that support the message, and then a pretty solid double CTA at the top and the bottom to get you to make a decision to maybe onboard onto the product.
This is following the typical pattern: inverted pyramid, strong header text, byline into a CTA. And then when you get down below that, it's supporting Z pattern, where you've got your text on one side, image that rotates as you go from chunk to chunk. This is something that like any brand can replicate very easily. And almost all ESPs probably have some WYSIWYG that has a Z pattern built into it, where you just do image on the left, image on the right, text on the left, text on the right, blah, 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 and go through. What made this stand out to me was the imagery is also pops out of the photo a little bit. So they've built in these illustrations. They've done some overlay, like that blue text. They've got that nice background pink shadow there. So they're using color. They're using some illustration. They're using, I can't think of the design term where it's overlapping that box, but it just makes it stand out a little bit better than normal. So those are from a design element that was really clear. Each chunk has a very clear kind of title. So like no fees till April. The one above it is touch-free transactions. So even if you're skimming through this and you don't want to read the supporting text, you get a sense of what you're getting throughout the whole email, which is a very, very good way of doing that through images, short titles, clear call to actions. So to me, I think this is like, if you go on promotional email, this is one of the better examples that we've seen in a long time.
I noticed on mobile actually that they're reusing some assets to stack them and doing a nice job with the left aligned content. But even an image like this, they're actually totally flipping it and including another CTA here on mobile to maybe try to grab your attention, and it's not such a long scroll. So I think little details like that shows that maybe they're, really taking the time to optimize for desktop and mobile.
Yeah, definitely. That's one thing I didn't even catch, but super cool.
This next one, I believe, is more of an onboarding email to get you to sign up.
In my journey, I went back to Venmo. I downloaded it, but I hadn't input all my information yet. This was the email I got right after that said, hey, since you're downloading, you might as well get $5 as a way to get me back into the product, because I hadn't paid anybody for a while. This was a nice incentive. I don't know how much $5 is to them in terms of their lifetime value of a customer. So they probably say like, hey, the next year I'll probably make off the typical person $50 or $100. So 5 or 10 or 15% of that is not bad to get them back in using the app. I found this is a really compelling incentive. And I think brands can do this with a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be money. It could be a pretty cheap thing that they offer. So like cosmetics might be a little trial things. Glasses could be anti-fog mist stuff. There's lots of things that you could probably couple in here just to get incentivize people to come back and use the company over and over again. You're using the inverted pyramid again that we saw through, and then some supporting text.
Yeah, I'm a fan of how clear the CTA is. Get your $5 is a pretty nice CTA copy. And then saying with this button below, they're really not, letting you be confused. Is click this button and get $5. That's a nice way to be direct with what you want someone to do rather than have like a learn more or something. This is a lot more compelling if you want to get people back into the product.
Yeah, and there's that time element with urgency, is that you have to do it before March 15th. So I only had, I think, 2 days to redeem this when I got the email originally. So some really cool elements there. And then we just saw, I think when you jumped in, the dark mode version of this.
Yeah, so they're actually doing a very nice job with optimizing for dark mode, having a white outline around their text that doesn't show on the light mode, but when you go to dark mode, you see that. So I definitely give them kudos for optimizing for this dark mode. Moving on to this next one, another sort of welcome, sort of onboarding, maybe even a marketing email if you haven't signed up yet for Venmo. So what stood out to you on this one?
Their color schemes are so vibrant and fun. They use those illustrations throughout. I hadn't used Venmo for such a long time that I didn't even know that they offered credit cards. Bringing me back into new features was the one thing that brought this one to mind when I was looking through their emails thinking, okay, cool. They're really hitting all the marks here. They've acquired me, they've incentivized me to keep using it, and now they're introducing things that I hadn't seen in the past or that they've created since I used it in the past. So they're really reinforcing their value to me as a user.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Nice use of colors. Again, they're using this sort of Z pattern, but then on mobile, really optimizing it. Really clear CTAs, nice copywriting, keeping these paragraphs short enough so that they kind of can live on one line. So in general,
Yeah, and
pretty big fan of this one.
yeah, and throughout all the emails, Venmo is a financial instrument. When we get other finance emails or banking emails, they're typically pretty boring. The complaints we've heard have been something along the lines of like, well, we have regulatory issues and it has to be cleared through like 12 different places, and they strip out all the character. What I see with this is they're using Visa, they're getting you to give them money. It's almost like a banking system anyways, but they still continue with illustrations. They still have some good copy. They don't make any weird promises. They still have that 3% cash back, but it just seems like they understand what their brand should be and they stick to that, and they don't allow themselves to get kind of pushed around by the lawyers in the room.
I do think we can recognize that this legal section is kind of a bummer, but
True.
I know Matthew might have some strong words about how they display this stuff, but I think they get out of the way with it. It's lower in the email, and it's not the best to see this stuff, but I do understand there are maybe some legal requirements about what they would like to include in these emails, especially if they are financial. But like you said, I think they found a nice balance of keeping their brand voice in their emails while still trying to be as compliant as they can be. This last one is sort of a retention email, since you've been gone sort of type email, which we're always a fan of, trying to use email to get people back into the product, really show exactly what they've updated since you've been in the app. We love retention emails like this.
It's just a good way of reinforcing again some things I've missed, bells and whistles, some Kelly Clarkson references, using those good shadows. I think those shadows are just so cool, the colored shadows. I wish that was a design element I saw in other places too.
I think this one's super clear, looks great on mobile. I think they really are understanding of making this desktop view scannable, but then resizing this content for mobile and making it feel really native on both screens. Maybe that is part of this legal compliance, is making sure that their emails are really accessible to everyone. When you do design email for everyone, it really benefits the whole email experience for even people that may not have any type of disability.
Since I re-downloaded this app, I've just been fully impressed by the emails they continue to send to me. And it's not just general newsletter fluff. I'm definitely in a journey that's retention to get me back up to probably the usage that they want to see through new users or recently won back users. I'm continuing to get more retention, more new feature emails the longer that I go on. And I bet the more that I start using the app, I'll get out of this journey into more of a general list.
Well, I really enjoyed these examples. Thanks for bringing them to the table, Mike. Have a great Friday.
Yeah, and if you want to pay me on Venmo for this.
Okay, yeah, I'll send you my Cash App, actually.
Yeah, cool. That sounds good. All right, y'all. Have a good Friday.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.